Hey there guys, Jake from MACkite back with another session impression. Today I have the Slingshot Asylum V5 kiteboard. The Asylum is a board I've ridden for several years now, and I was stoked to get back to it this year, namely because all of the other awesome demo boards here were taken from me. So I figured why not mix it up and give something else a try, and I was super stoked to be back on this board. So how would we define this board? Slingshot calls it a freestyle big air kiteboard, and that's a fairly accurate description, though I do think it works for all-around riders as well. So it is a fairly aggressively rockered board. It's going to have a continuous rocker that runs the length of the board here. So it doesn't ride very efficiently. If you're a newer kiter or you're riding in underpowered conditions, you are going to find that you are going to struggle going upwind slightly. With that said, I think the trade-off there is totally worth it. So for this year's model, they've introduced a carbon stringer that runs through the board. That's going to give it more of a rebound pop effect when you really load up into that board and explode off the water. Some of the things I really like about this board is that rebound effect, where you can load up a ton, it springs off the water, you go flying through the air, you come down, and it does a really good job of absorbing you on the impact. Some boards are really stiff, and they're real knee bangers when you come down, not quite right. This is really soft and forgiving, and I like that. That's going to be due not only to the flex of the board, but that aggressive rocker line. It's also going to have these channels here at the ends of the board. They do a really good job of not only giving you a lot of control, but they also do a good job of redirecting the spray. Sometimes in our choppy conditions here, I'm finding I'm riding a board where I just keep getting blasted in the eyes. I come off and I look like Reefer Madness. I don't have that with this, you know, nice, intact, pearly white eyes coming off, not really getting too splashed around. That's just a nice little added feature. On this particular board, I do have the Cabrina source pads on it. I originally had the dualies, but the 4-zone adjustment, I just don't think's for me with the shape of my foot. And I find that they need to be loosened. They loosen themselves up fairly easily. So I really like these new sources. Check out a different video for a review totally on these. And I think they kind of match this cool aesthetic, right? The white and black with the little skull, the aggressive red. So you can see kind of here on the camera some of that rocker line. We have the default fins on here. That's 1.75 inches. When you purchase this deck, it's going to come with the fins. It's going to come with a handle, which I sent to some other person who received their poor board without a handle, and the deck itself. The foot straps are sold separately. Because the handle is included with this, you don't need to worry if you buy a different brand foot straps, whether or not that's included. So that is a plus. So overall, I think this is a board for people who are fairly progression-minded. I don't think you necessarily need to be a big air freestyle rider, though if you are, that certainly helps. But it's a board for people who want a decent amount of pop, they want forgiving landings, they want something that just feels really fun underfoot. This is a big classic wood deck, which is also sustainably sourced, big plus there. That carbon stringer does help, but it just feels fun underfoot. It feels kind of basic. It reminds me kind of the good old days when you were just really stoked when you had a big wood core that you could see with a really nice flex characteristics. So there's probably a little bit of nostalgia in me, but I think this is a very fun board. I do find it's a little bit heavier than some modern boards. I think that's due to the construction. One other thing to know is these inserts have these little they're like these carbon-based inserts. So in theory, they're going to do a better job of keeping the screws locked into the board without stripping out. But it's not like a traditional insert pack. So you lose a little bit of weight and you gain some flex through that. Overall, this is a super fun board. I would recommend it for some kiteboarders, not everybody. If you want to get out there, have fun, jump, do some tricks, shred, and you're okay with the low wind compromises that you're going to have, this I think could be a great board for you. As always, thanks for checking us out. This has been Jake with MACkite.